The only place to hear cheaters get busted. This is the Dave Ryan Show's War of the Roses, 101.3 KDWB.
I looked at this War of the Roses description as she's talking about why she thought he was maybe cheating, seeing somebody else. I'm like, I'm not going to do this one. It's too boring. Because it's like, well, he's taking phone calls outside and he's texting and it's weird and he doesn't want sex. And it's like, that can be so many relationships.
Yeah.
And that's not even a good premise for War of the Roses. We need something where they found, like, I don't know, earrings in his glove compartment.
Yes.
Or a pair of underpants in his coat pocket or something like that.
Or a photo on his cell phone of them making out.
Something like that.
A selfie make-out photo, yeah.
But as I read a little bit further into Logan's email, I said, oh, there's some good stuff in here. Hi, Logan.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Hi.
Thanks for being on War of the Roses. Logan thinks that Mitch has maybe been seeing somebody else. And you've got the basic evidence, which is like what, the texting and that type of thing?
Yeah. So, hi guys. Thank you for helping me out. So basically, my boyfriend, he's just been acting really weird. Like, he doesn't want to have sex, which I don't get, whatever. And, whenever I ask him to have sex, he's just always on his phone, and he'll say that he's on Facebook, but it's really stupid because I can see that he's obviously texting, right?
Okay, right.
Anyway, like, sometimes he will come home smelling like smoke, right? And then, like, he'll say that he was out for, like, a bike ride or something, and it's just really stupid.
But he
like,
doesn't smoke. You don't smoke. He doesn't smoke. So the suspicion is that he's going over to somebody's house, saying that he's out for a bike ride for an hour, rides over to somebody's house, and then rides back.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, number one, nobody smokes anymore.
Yeah,
it's 2018.
You don't see it very often.
No, not really. Okay.
Anyway, yeah. And like you think anyway, yeah. So he's whatever he's doing, he's hanging out with somebody who smokes, right? And we don't smoke. None of our friends smoke, so that's crazy. So I just whatever. You can think that I'm crazy or whatever, but I went through his Facebook and I saw this girl who I think it might be. I think her name is Bridget, and whatever. She's like this trashy-looking girl, and I was looking through her page, and I saw that she has this just a stupid cartoon tattoo on her shoulder, and it says "Bang."
Okay, right? I know exactly what you're talking about. I'm imagining the like starburst kind of like, you know what I mean, with "Bang" across it. But I don't know if that's right.
Yeah, whatever.
Like
an
explosion. Okay, like a cartoony explosion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like whatever. I don't really read cartoons, but
okay, I got you.
It looks like that.
Okay.
So I saw that, and I thought, like, you know what? I'm just gonna with him just like a little bit, and I wanted to catch him, right, to see like what he would say. So I saw that picture, and I told him, "Hey, guess what? I want to get a tattoo, and here's what I want to get." And I actually did a copy of that picture of the tattoo that the girl has, Bridget, and I showed him that picture, saying that I wanted to get that tattoo just because I wanted to see what he would do.
To get his reaction.
And yeah, he just went straight white. He didn't say anything. He just started. I swear, I could hear his heart beating. He went white as a sheet. He started sweating. I could hear him like freaking out, and he didn't say anything because he knew that if he said something, then I would know. Then I would know what was going on. But I know it. I know that this is the girl.
Okay,
I know that this is happening.
That's the reaction that was the dead giveaway. When confronted with surprise evidence, he couldn't say, I mean, the right reaction, if he was innocent, would be like, oh, that's cool, or why do you want to get that?
Why?
Or, that's
different.
dumb.
Yeah,
or,
whatever.
Okay, are you sure you want to get that? I mean, whatever. But his reaction was like, nope.
Yeah, he just started stuttering like an idiot. Yeah, exactly.
So in your mind, that's evidence right there that Mitch knows that you're onto him, but can't say, do you know I'm cheating with Bridget? But now I know that you know. Wow. So isn't that enough, or do you still feel like you need to do War of the Roses?
I need to know. I need to know for sure. Like, we've been together for a long time, and I really love him, and I need to know for sure. Like, I just want to know if I'm crazy.
Okay.
Is there anything else besides the smoky smell, the texting, the no sex, and the tattoo story.
I feel like that's a lot. When you just summarize it, I feel like it's actually
kind of
a lot.
Yeah. All right. You hold on. We'll make a phone call in a second. We'll call Mitch. We'll tell him that, hey, he's won a dozen roses, and who does he want to send these roses to? And he's got, at least two possible answers, you or Bridget or maybe somebody else, but we'll find out what he does coming up on War of the Roses. What do you think? I mean, here is 3 or 4 different clues. Texting when he says he's on Facebook, the smoky smell, and then the trap. What do you think of the trap that she set just to get a reaction?
I think it's genius.
I think it is genius, too. But wouldn't that be enough? Or what do you think is going to happen? Give me your thoughts on War of the Roses. And has anybody ever set a trap for you? Or have you ever set a trap for anybody? And how genius is that? All right. Call me, 651-989-KDWB, or text me at KDWB1. We'll be back in a second to talk to you and make the phone call on War of the Roses. War of the Roses, your thoughts, your texts. We're going to talk to somebody first on the phone at 651-989-KDWB. She kind of set a little trap for him, and I think it was a really clever, interesting thing, where she found out the girl that he might be seeing has got a tattoo of a cartoony explosion on her shoulder blade, I think she said, and it says bang. So she says to her boyfriend, she's like, I'm thinking about getting a tattoo of like a cartoony explosion that says bang to get his reaction.
Yep.
And he's like, yeah. She say she could hear his heart beating?
She said that. She said turn as white as a sheet.
Oh. So Sithonia from Frederick, what do you think's going on?
He's cheating.
How do you know, though?
Too many things add up.
What would you do if you were her?
Well, let's see. Well, what I did to a guy years ago was we met on Live Links.
Yeah.
And we started dating, and I had a suspicion he was cheating. So I changed the profile on Live Links, and I became this Jamaican chick. And after 2 weeks of talking to him, he said, what would make the perfect date? And I said, chocolate, strawberries, and wine at a really nice hotel. So he set that up for American Inn, and I showed up. And when he opened the door, he about fell over.
Oh my God.
Wow. Now, a lot of people might have said, Sithonia, at the point where you trapped him, they'd be like, that's enough. But you went full tilt on this thing.
He couldn't lie about it. He could not lie about it. I got all dressed up. I was sexy as hell. I was to die for. Do you
think he had done something like that before?
Huh?
Do you think he had done something like that before?
No. I was just trying to catch him because when I was me, I called him that same day, and I said I was inviting him over for dinner.
Yeah.
And he said, I got to work.
And what eventually happened? Was it over that night, or did you give him another chance?
No, he asked me to leave because I stood outside the door of the hotel room, and I said, I'm not leaving. We need to discuss this. If you don't want me, just say that. But I'm not going to play these games. So he ended up coming to the door, letting me in, apologizing. I mean, the room had a jacuzzi. It had an in-house bar. It was gorgeous. So he said, I tell you what, I can't deal with this right now. So he left. I stayed at the room all night, and I called up a bunch of people.
That sounds like a party. Yeah.
I love you. Thanks for calling in. I appreciate it. Have a good day.
A great text. My friend's boyfriend at the time thought she was cheating on him with some guy. So he changed his own name in her phone to the guy he thought he was being cheated on. Whatever, you know what I'm saying, with him.
A lot of steps.
And when the boyfriend went to take a shower, she started texting him, or who she thought was her fling. She was caught right away.
Oh, wow.
That's genius.
The traps that you've set. Let's do another one. Ariana, before we make the phone call. Hi, Ariana. What do you think?
Hi. I was just saying, I think she's totally right and okay for calling in, because the fact that, his face went completely white just because he saw a tattoo, like an idea she had to get.
Yeah.
I just think that's ridiculous. Like, he has no reason for his face to go white, no reason to freak out. It's just, like, completely weird.
Unless he's totally guilty. I mean, if he's guilty, then it's like, oh, what? Because otherwise he'd be like, well, that's a cool idea, I guess. Let's find out what happens. We'll make the phone call right now. Thanks for all the phone calls and the text messages on War of the Roses.
We're going to send out a dozen long stem romantic roses for you today. What I need from you is a name. So first and last, who would you like to send those to?
A dozen, Bridget.
Perfect. Do you want to include a card? That's up to you.
Sure, yeah. We can include a card. Yeah, if you could just put on it, like, I just met you, but, yeah,
okay.
you're the one.
Hey, it's me.
Hello?
Hello? It's your girlfriend that you live with?
Logan?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, my name's not Bridget. My name's not Bridget.
Oh, shit.
You are so busted. You know what? I can't believe that you would do this like this. I can't believe that you would embarrass me like this.
He probably doesn't know how he's embarrassed you yet. I'm just going to jump in really quick because, Logan, he probably doesn't realize that actually, Mitch, you're on a radio station, and this is like a bit we do called War of the Roses to see who you would send roses to. And obviously, Logan put us up to this. I'm Fallon, and Dave is over here.
Hello.
So that's what's happening. And back to it. Go for it there, Logan.
You're so dead. You know what? I don't want to get, you know what? I can't deal with you. This is after everything that we've been through.
Yeah, I guess, but are you really surprised?
What?
You've been super distant, so I don't know.
What? You're a creep. You're a real creep. You know what? We've been through so much together, and this is what you do. You know what? Whatever. Forget about this. My sister was right about you. You suck.
Oh, you're just a little crazy. So, come on.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe you made me that way. Okay.
I made you crazy. No, I think you're
maybe
crazy,
you made me
just
that
like
way.
the mother.
Right.
Yeah, it's fine. You know what?
Oh, no, you did not drop that.
Yeah. You know what? Let's just be done. This is a perfect opportunity for us just to be over. How about that? Does that sound good? I feel like, just go back to your job, your little desk job, and be crazy with all your little girlfriends. We're done.
You be an asshole. How about that? How about you go be an asshole in your little crappy job? How about that?
All right. Will do.
He said, you're crazy. We mentioned this a couple of weeks ago, and it seemed a little extreme, but remember when Natalie Portman said, next time a guy says she's crazy, ask him what bad thing he did to her to make her crazy. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a prime example right there.
No kidding.
But who started it? Was she distant? And then he started seeing this other girl, Bridget.
A lot of things I've realized from even just doing my Heartbroken podcast and from doing War of the Roses is using the distant or it's like if you are thinking about doing it, think about what is missing in your relationship. And if you want to salvage it, then talk to the person. It's like so many people are like, they'll admit on my podcast, even if it was their fault too, or because of bad communication or whatever. So if there's that weird, if you felt like she was being distant, then maybe ask why she's being distant.
But would she tell you the truth? That's the thing. A lot
there's
of
only one way
to
find out.
They just won't. They'll be like, what? Oh, you know what, Steve? Your microphone button is sticking. It's a sign from God. There, try it again.
I was going to say, is that maybe she's not going to be honest about it, but it's better than not asking at all.
Like
what Fallon said.
Here's the ultimate solution. Put them on War of the Roses.